So we're we're in a position to just destroy. We're taking everybody out in this area. All the competition's is gone. It's over. They see that you have 122 reviews compared to the other guy that has 6. They're going to call you. You can't help anybody if you don't have, if you aren't successful. Like, money isn't everything, but if you're not making any, you're not helping anyone, including your family, your friends, your neighbors.
So for the sake of the viewer, to catch them up a little bit, like, tell us about your business and what you and Levi are up to.
So the business is Bare Door Services right here. We do garage door repair and installation. That's just like a super general overview because we focus on permanent solutions, or as permanent as they can get, instead of just putting on like super cheap parts to get you through. We look at garage doors like they should be looked at, as really dangerous, really important parts of your home, and they should be treated accordingly. They should have quality parts put on them. They should last 20, 30 years. They should not be just patched as they go along, because if it falls on your car, or God forbid your child or your pet, could get really hurt. And what we found out when I first started last year was that people don't ever think about their garage door ever, and I never did either. Until it breaks. And then once it breaks, you realize how incredibly frustrating and terrible. If you can't get your car out of the garage, what are you supposed to do? So I saw that opportunity to get in there because there was not a whole lot of people in this area that do it. The main people that do it are like handyman services and stuff. And that's not a horrible thing. It's just, it's not specialized, and a lot of the work only lasts a year or two, and then springs and stuff need to be redone. And over time, the cost of that can be really high. So what I've done is we charge up front, which is a significant more amount of money than you would pay to another company. But our solution is going to last you 10 times longer. So in the long run, you are saving way more money. You have more peace of mind because your garage door is fixed properly. We offer warranties that other companies can't touch. The value to your home add is crazy with the insulated doors that we install. It's almost free. So obviously they're paying the money up front, but the value of their home that increases, it offsets the cost in most cases completely. It's like they are getting it for free. So it was rough going at first, just because you think that you're going to make a website and you're going to put a Google business page, and then the phone's just going to start blowing off the hook with all this work because everyone wants you, and then you realize no one knows who you are at all. Nobody. And that was tough at first. And that's whenever we started talking, back around the 3-month mark, I think, is whenever you and I started talking. And since then, now that I'm over 100 Google reviews and things like that, it's easier. But the beginning was kind of rough. But I was relentless with the reviews. That's the one thing that I'll say is reviews are the biggest thing you could possibly ever care about. Is when you're first starting out, I'm going to be quoting Alex Hormozy through this whole entire thing, is like
hard not to sometimes.
Right. Do the unscalable things. Like, do go the extra mile. Buy the part for the person that a big company usually wouldn't do because it's not cost effective. Do that to get the review, to get the customer base, to get your reputation. Even though you can't scale that, or it's going to be hard to scale that later, really focus on doing great work, making sure customers are really happy, even if that means you make a little less money. To get these reviews, you have to get the Google reviews. You have to. And then if the person doesn't know how to leave a Google review, you have them pull out their phone and you show them how to make a Google account. You show them how to leave the review. You explain to them how important it is to your growing business and how much you would appreciate it if they left your review. Even if it means a discount at first, just get the review. It's incredibly important.
Like, how challenging do you find that? Because I hear it all the time from guys saying, like, they can't, like, oh, they don't have a Google account, or, oh, they tell me they'll do it, but they don't. But like you get 10 times as many reviews as the average contractor. So like, why do you think that is?
Because I prioritize it. Anything that you want, you have to prioritize. It's just as simple as that. And people make excuses all the time with everything. The people around me are old and they don't know how to use Google, so it's not even worth asking. Well, then show them. Whatever the problem is, there's a solution to it. So just be the solution to the problem. My thing is, if you don't want to try to get reviews, you must not care enough about your business. Like, it's simple as that. You must not care enough, or your necessity. You must not be hungry enough or need the money enough or whatever it is for you growing your company. The pain must not be great enough for you to go that extra mile to do that. So either create some more pain for yourself, or look inward and see, like, you have a family, you have this, they're counting on you. So it's not that hard to print out. We have the gift cards here with the scans right on the back, or the business cards. Takes you right to the Google review. We have the gift cards here, takes you right to the Google review. Give them free gifts. We do Yeti cups with our logo and stuff on them. People love that. You know what I mean? The Yeti cups cost me $40 just for the cup. The cup itself is $40, and then to get them printed, it ends up costing me $60 to give them. But $60 for review is nothing. It's cheap. Get the reviews, and don't be scared to tell them how important it is to you. If you have an employee, whenever Levi asks for a review, he tells the customer that he gets a bonus. And people love to help employees. I found that to be incredibly true. If he's like, hey, my boss gives me a $50 bonus every time I get a review. And I always say, if you feel I've earned one. So if you phrase it that way, you're kind of catching them off guard. Like, if they don't leave you a review, then they're telling you didn't earn it, kind of deal is what we always say. If you feel I've earned a review, I would really appreciate it if you leave me one. And oh yeah, no, you definitely earned one. You definitely earned one. And say, yeah, if you have trouble, I can show you how to do it right now. And just have them pull their phone out. And if you're not confident to do that, you probably need to, I don't know, take a long look in the mirror and just kind of figure out why you're having an issue asking people. Or you're not confident enough in your work. Maybe your caliber of work just isn't as good as you think it is, or something. Like, something is there. You don't want to ask for the review, and there's a reason. You got to figure out what that reason is.
Yeah, that's solid. You're talking about like the pain that causes the motivation. Like, I think you definitely come off as more motivated to get things done ASAP. Like, where does that come from for you?
So I have 4 children. I have 2 dogs. I have 5 cats. I also have really low, not anymore, but I've had really low self-esteem my whole life. That's why I started lifting weights. That's why I started going to the gym. That's why I started doing all these things. So it's almost like a chip on my shoulder. I want to prove people wrong, type of thing. And that's okay. Whatever fuel you have in the tank to get you going. I really bothers me when people are like, well, you shouldn't use anger to fuel you to get something done, or you shouldn't use resentment, or you shouldn't use whatever it is. You should be motivated, for whatever reason. But when you're trying to light a candle to get it to start burning, I don't care what the fuel is, gasoline, kerosene, alcohol, whatever you got to do to light that up. Now, down the line, your mindset will change, but mine comes from, I don't want to let my children down. Like, I want them to look at me like a superhero. I want to pay for my daughter's weddings. Like, when they get married, I want to pay for their weddings. My son is going to be 16 soon. I want him to have a vehicle. I want us to have a nice house. I want my dogs to eat good food. I want us to eat good food. I want my neighbors, God forbid, if something happens, if they need help, I want to be able to have extra money to help them. If they need, if something happens to their home and they need a hotel room or something, I can just pay for it. Say, hey, listen, go stay down the road for a couple nights on me. Don't worry about it. You can't help anybody if you aren't successful. Like, money isn't everything, but if you're not making any, you're not helping anyone, including your family, your friends, your neighbors, no one. You're helping 0 people. So That's what my motivation comes from. I want to help people, and the only way to help people is to have money. If you want to give to the local dog charity down the road, you want to buy them bags of food and stuff like that, it takes money. And that's where my
Yeah, and
motivation
even
comes
if you
from.
want to continue helping people with your business, like you have to be profitable. The stronger you are, the more people you can help.
Right, and that's the other thing is my our slogan is we ensure families can safely and reliably enter their homes every day. You know, if I'm chasing job to job with no margin because I want to keep my prices cheap or low, or I think that someone's not going to pay it, how does that serve anyone? It doesn't serve me because I'm not making any money to support my family. It doesn't serve the customer because they're getting crappy service, crappy parts. They're just going to be pissed at you after you do the work because it's going to break. It doesn't, and it potentially could be dangerous. You know, if something breaks and it falls, God forbid, and it literally serves no one for you to use budget options on things, on big things, I should say. Um, and you got to have that confidence in your work. If you're a plumber, not even garage doors, if you're a plumber, electrician, if you're an electrician and you're like, if I don't do this correctly and use the right parts, this could potentially burn my customer's house to the ground and they could potentially die. So I'm going to charge enough money to pay for my truck, my employees, my insurance, give me a salary, and buy good parts and have good training in place for my business so that they get a quality product and I can go to bed at night knowing their house isn't going to burn down. Or in my case, the door's not going to fall on their kid. And you need to find that in your business. If you're just doing this to just kind of make a buck and you're not thinking about the implications of what you're doing, you're wrong. Like even somebody is like a small car mechanic. If they change your oil wrong, they could blow up your car. You know what I mean? If they don't put enough in, or if they put the wrong part on, the down the line impact could be, catastrophic. So I think people need to start looking at their business that way, that you're providing a valuable service to the people in your community. And the only way to do that is to charge a reasonable amount so that you can live and support your family and that they can have a good product.
So you said that you've been in business about a year, right?
Yeah. Coming up in August, it'll be a year.
Okay. So like 11 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have like a background in garage doors before?
So I did, not professionally, but on the side. So I was in the oil field for 15 years, 80 to 100 hours a week. I was an electromechanical technician for most of it. I got my electromechanical degree from George Brown College while I was working in the oil field. It's not a great lifestyle. Now, for money, it's great. You make a lot of money in the oil field. Now, what you're doing is you're trading all of your time for that money. You're trading 100 hours a week for $150,000 a year, which if you're a young man, if you're 18 to 25 years old and you're trying to get a good start, I would recommend it to anybody. You just go in and but I would have an exit plan, go in for 2 years, 3 years, bank 300 grand and then get out and then use that money to do what you want to do. I worked with a lot of lifers and I was a lifer, and it beats the hell out of your body. And I wasn't even doing the most physical part most of the time. But like 6 years ago, the garage door broke on my house. And the guy came and he wanted to put something on that I thought was very simple at the time. And I think it was almost $700 to fix. And I'm just like, no way. I was one of those people. I'm like this is a $300,000 house back in 2000 and whatever, 6 years ago. It was worth a lot of, like we lived in an upscale neighborhood, I shouldn't be cheaping out on my house, but I was. He's just like, hey, it's gonna be $700 to fix it. I'm like, get out, no way. I'll fix it myself, blah, blah. And I did fix it myself after spending probably more money than I would, just paying him to fix it. So after that, I was like, what, I could get into this. And I had kicked the idea around for a while. And then finally last year I went and got my professional certification, went to garage door school at Mount on-site training, took an online level 6 course and, started fixing people's stuff for free at the beginning, just asking my friends and family, trying to get those reviews that I was talking about. And, kind of went from there.
How long did you do free stuff? Like, how many reviews did you get from doing free things before you started charging?
Probably like 10, I think. And the thing with the free stuff is you tell them it's free, but they always kind of want to pay you something. Like if they're genuinely good people, sometimes they'll throw you 50, 100, $200, or if you say, hey, I'll fix it for you for the cost of the parts. And then you show them the receipt, say, hey, this is how much the parts cost. If you just want to cover the parts, I'll call the review the payment for it. You know what I mean? Like, so you're not losing any money. You're not losing any money on parts. Now you're losing some time, but I mean, it's like going to school. You're learning for free, basically. They bought the parts, you do the stuff. Now, I was fortunate enough to have my own garage door in my own house, so I took that thing apart 100 times and put it back together 100 times to, get proficient. But I deeply cared about every process. So, if how to measure the springs, how to cut the springs, how to measure the cables. I did a deep dive on every single thing. And then after I did the deep dives, how can I make this better? Are there tools that exist to make this easier? Is the investment on the tool worth it? Is the time investment worth it? I went down that. I had categories of things to go down. So, but yeah, in the beginning, the free, I probably did 10 to 15, got 10 to 15 reviews doing free or almost free stuff or budget things. And I'm glad I did. It was worth it 10 times over. So
was that before last August? Like, I'm trying to get the timeline together.
Yeah. So for the reviews, yes. So when I started in August to get the 10 to 15 reviews, I can't remember how many, I did free things and discount things, guys that I worked with, I'm like, hey man, you need anything for your garage? They're like, yeah, actually the spring is broke or it needs a new opener. I was like, hey, if you just pay for the parts, I'll do it for free. I did that starting in August. But before that, I had done a couple different things for people that I knew because they knew that I would dabbled in garage doors, but I didn't have a GMB. I didn't plan on starting a business anytime soon. I had thought about it, but it was never really serious. So yeah, I'd worked off and on for almost 6 years just on garage doors, but then I got serious a year ago.
So why a year ago? Like, why did you get serious?
So it's funny. My 6-year-old actually asked if I would coach her soccer team. And you got to understand, in the oil field, like I worked in Texas, Colorado, Ohio, Louisiana. Like even when you're local, you leave at 3, 4 in the morning, and then you get home 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then you go to bed and you wake up and do it. You never see your family. And that's a trade-off, right? For money. And I had missed most of my son's life doing that, most of his sporting events. I missed my first daughter's stuff, my second daughter's stuff. Like I had missed pretty much everything. I have the photos, but I wasn't there. I'm getting older. I'm 38. My body is starting to get the hell beat out of it. So that was kind of the pinnacle, the pain of my wrists, the pain of not being around my 6-year-old and not being able to be like the other dads that are coaching their daughter's team. That pain right there was enough to push me over the edge to start. I didn't have enough pain before that to make me go, and that's a dangerous place to be. Cause obviously you could have a good, quote unquote, good life, by working in the oil field or what have you, but you get in this area where you're not quite happy and you're not quite miserable. You're just kind of floating through life, and you need to go past the miserable area. Like you need to go down to the point where you're over it before you'll jump up to the change part. And I finally got there. I was like, screw this. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. So that's what pushed me over the edge. Yeah.
Thank goodness you had that moment.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I squandered a business in 2017 or 16 or 15, 16, one of those years. I had started a nutritional supplement company on Amazon, like a drop shipping supplement company. And that was the 2015, 2016 was like the time to be on Amazon. Like it was especially for drop shipping, it was like chef's kiss. Like it was so good. All I did was private label supplements and send them to Amazon, and they sold like hotcakes. They just sold. I mean, not even trying. It was making $40,000 a month easy, like not doing anything. And we, pissed all that away. Like, it's just so easy to just kind of, no marketing, no anything, just vacations and new carpet and new cars, and just completely blew it. That's whenever Bucked Up started. I started, my company was called Bold Buck Nutrition, and I started the exact time as Bucked Up, and we were like competitors kind of. And who knows if I'd actually taken that seriously, I could be the Bucked Up, but didn't work out that way. So,
oh, here you are, eh?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I'm glad it happened. Good. Sorry.
So you started about a year ago. You did free stuff for a while. And then, like, when did you start to transition into, like, okay, this is a for-profit thing, going all in on this?
So when I realized I wasn't making any money, I was still working the oil field job. I had, while I was doing this, answering the phone, going there at nights, weekends, like my days off, like I was doing both things. And when I looked at the like the profit loss statement or the bank account, I'm like, there's no money here. Like, I'm not making any money. Like, I started trying to make money, and what I did was I made the mistake that literally everybody makes. I'm like, what is everyone else charging? What's everyone else charging? So I priced the way everyone else priced, and after you pay for the fuel and the truck payment and the insurance and the parts and the time, you're lucky to break even. And I'm like, how are these people doing this? Like, it's just not. And if you looked at some of the companies around here, you could see how they do it. It's just, not, I don't want to bash them too hard, but it's just it's not professional. It's not to say that it's bad. It's just not quality. It's not what I would call quality work, and there is a market for that. There is a market for people who will pay for not quality work because it's cheap. I don't want those aren't my customers, and that's okay that that's not my customer. It's totally fine. But when I realized that I needed to make a living from this, that I'm not going to have this oil field job, that I need to make some money, I dove deeper and I read all of Alex's stuff again. I looked at, there's a book called Built to Sell. I forget who the author is, but it's an extremely good book. And I started, niching down and trying to streamline my process and figure out what's making me the most money, what's the most profitable, what are the problems people are having that I can fix quickly and that are very profitable. And that's whenever I zeroed in on, higher quality stuff that you can't buy at Home Depot. And I always think of this, like, if people can readily buy your things at a big box store or something, or the tools that you use, you're going to have a hard time. It's not impossible, but in my opinion, you're going to have a hard time justifying the higher price if they can see, well, I can get it at Home Depot for $40. Now they can get garage doors at Home Depot for a couple $100 for sure, but you can't buy CHI, the brand that I sell, from Lowe's or Home Depot. You can't get that. You have to go through a dealer. You just can't get it. And that is, I niched into that category, something that has a higher barrier to entry for people around here. And did that cut the customer base? Yes, absolutely. Like, a lot less people, or a lot more people say no to your service, for sure. But it's priced in such a way that when people do say yes, it makes up for 4 customers that said no. You know what I mean? So you work less, you make more profit, the customers are happier, you're happier, your business grows faster, you have the confidence to ask for the review because the stuff. Like, every time I install a door, put a spring on, I stand back and I look at them like, damn, that's good. Look at that. That's beautiful. I'm like super proud of it. It looks good. It acts good. It feels good. The door sounds amazing. That's when I ask for the review, I know that I deserve it. I'm just like, give me that review, like it's mine because I deserve this review. And I'm relentless with it. And that's because I have conviction in what I've done. If you're using if you go to Home Depot and I pick up a Chamberlain opener that is for $200, I'm gonna have a hard time charging $1,000 for that install because that opener is cheap. It's, you know what I mean? It's they can see that it's cheap. What are they getting for their money? If you're not offering a warranty with it, if you're not offering sunshades on their sensors, if you're not offering professional wiring, why are they paying you? You have to think of these little details and then stack them. We do professional wiring, we do sunshades, we do the lifetime warranty on the motor. And you show them a list of things that they're getting that they're not getting with the other person, and that's what they're paying for. So that's, and it's been working amazingly. Like I love the pace that the business is going. It's great.
So free stuff for a few months, discovered the idea of niching down and really building up the value of what you do.
Right.
Like how many months of that kind of like working on your product did you do before you feel like you had something like really solid?
So iteration never stops. I know you worded it good because once I had something solid, it probably took a good 3-4 months of just constant iteration, price testing. Because you do, Alex's thing again, you do want to get a gasp from people whenever they see the price. Like you do want them to kind of go, whoa, that is pricey. And what that does is it kind of separates you from everyone else. Like it creates why is this so much why are you so much more expensive than everybody else? They get to start to thinking like you live rent free, as the cool people say, and you're in their head like, wow, I wonder why he's charging this much for this. What is he giving me that's worth that? Now some people will say screw that, it's too expensive, but a lot of the times that causes them to think about your business in a different way. You don't get, what's the word, commoditized. You're not like, hey, can you do openers? Yes. Can you do openers? No, we don't do openers. We do smart garage systems. We do smart garage opener systems. They're a different product. They're not the same. They might have a similar function, but what you want to do is you want to create a category of one where you're selling in a market that no one else is selling in. Like you're literally your own market. They'll call and say, hey, can you do this, XYZ cheap thing? No, we actually don't do that. And that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with them. They're not wrong for asking for it, and you're not wrong for not doing it. Like I think people feel shameful, and I used to, for not offering a certain thing. If someone's like, well, you don't do extension springs, or you don't do torque, you don't work on torque master stuff. I'm like, damn, maybe I should. Maybe I should help these people out and do that. It's not helpful to them or me to work on something that's not profitable or is not helpful to them. If it's a inferior solution, why do I want to give them an inferior solution just because it's cheaper? It just doesn't make sense to me. But that took a while for me to overcome. It's tough. I had an internal battle with that. But once you get over that and you realize how happy the customers you do serve are, that all goes out the window. You can't save everybody. You can't help everyone. It's impossible. But the people that you do help, you want to help them well. You want them to be super satisfied and happy. And that's what you should focus on. Not how good you can help the customers you do get. And that's what I focus on. So.
Heck yeah, I can see Dino taking notes down there.
Yeah.
This is good stuff, huh, Dino?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like we met him a year ago, and just the journey that he had, and how long way he came from. That time, it's really inspiring. So he's done an awesome job.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a ride, and like it's just going to get crazier because now we some of the stuff is very expensive, and for good reason, but not everyone has $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 laying around. A lot of people don't. So Bear Door Services wasn't eligible for any sort of financing. We were eligible through this company called Enhancify, which was it wasn't horrible, but the process of getting people financed was terrible. But now we're approved through this company called WiseTac, which integrates with our CRM. So whenever I show somebody a quote, it literally at the bottom says as much as as little as $177 a month, and all they do is click the button if they want to do financing. And a lot of times there's 0% options and things like that depending on their credit. And that has been pushing. I mean, that's literally pouring gasoline all over the fire that are already burning. Like the fact that people can get a quality product and pay a little a month, or whatever it is for it, whether or not they have interest is totally dependent on them, but totally opens up the market to more people that want quality things, but don't necessarily have the cash up front to do it. So we're we're in a position to just we're taking everybody out in this area. All the competitions is gone. It's over.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tell us about your customer acquisition strategy. Like, how do you get customers?
So a lot of our customers come from, referrals. Now it took a while to build up referrals, but referrals I feel like is your biggest one, at least whenever you're at my mark, like my money mark, I guess, like under, whatever, 500,000, $1 million, whatever number. Referrals are extremely important, especially local, like I just did a door for the local fire hall. I think I messaged you about it. They were having issues, and the local fire department was using a different company other than Bear Door Services. And it was at night. It was Friday night, like 7 p.m. And the other company wouldn't answer the phone, or they couldn't come out that night or whatever. So they called us. We were there in 30 minutes, fixed the issue, and now we have they're calling us every time. That's not a customer necessarily that I was targeting, and we typically don't do commercial work, but I know a lot of people there. I know the president of the fire hall, like his son's one of my best friends. So I'm going to take that work on, simply based on that, and it pays really well. Like, it pays well, but the referrals are massive, and that comes from you just sucking it up and just in the beginning and doing stuff, like I said, doing the unscalable things, taking the extra time, taking the hit on a part to get the review. And people remember that stuff. Most of the time they remember that stuff. Other acquisition has been Google. Now it's mainly Google and SEO stuff. People are just finding us organically. A lot of people are finding us organically, thanks to you guys. And it's every time I ask, because we try to figure out where the traffic is coming from. I'm still learning about all the KPIs and how to track all those things. And so we ask, and they always say, Google, or now we dig down deeper because we have a Yelp listing, and we barely put any money to it because, in my opinion, at least in our area, Yelp is not that worth it. But you shouldn't ignore it, but it's just not extremely worth it. I'm like, was it Yelp? Was it somewhere else? You try to dig down to find out, and most of it's just a Google Maps search. Come up first, come up second. They see that you have 122 reviews compared to the other guy that has 6. They're going to call you. So that's where most of our traffic is coming from. And then, I haven't really even advertised. Like, I'm starting advertising. I have a couple golf courses around here that I bought the whole front 9 on, like the cards that have advertisements on the scorecards, because I figure that's our clientele, or a lot of our clientele. I bought some radio spots they were cheap. They were like $400 for like 6 weeks of play. I haven't seen anything from that, and that wasn't worth it at all. It was nice because the one was like helping veterans and the other one was helping something. So it's like the cause was good, but it totally wasn't worth it for advertising. I'm trying to think. Haven't really run any Facebook ads. Nothing. It's just all SEO, Google. It's incredible how important Google is. It's like unimaginably, unbelievably how important Google is. There's nothing that's even close to your Google listing having reviews. That's why I always harp on that. Like, dude, the reviews are unbelievably important. Like, more than you think. Even though I think it's a lot, it's more important than that.
Yep. I know, that's why my YouTube channel, it's kind of just become the get Google reviews channel, because that's like half of what I talk about.
Right.
That's still what people need to hear.
Well, getting leads is kind of like I used to make like diet and training stuff for people. I used to make like training plans and supplements which people should take. People just want the magic, and that including me. Like, I'm not immune to this. Everyone wants the magic pill that cures all. hey man, if you just pay $100 a month, you'll get all the leads you want. You don't have to ask for reviews or nothing. Like, you have to be realistic. It's not going to happen. You have to get the reviews. You have to ask for them. You have to just put in the work. And it's just like training and exercise. Like, you have to put in the work, or it will not. There's no pill. You could take GLP-1 and get semaglutide butt or whatever they're getting now, or the sunken eyes and stuff. The shots people are taking for losing weight, but it's just not as good as just good old fashioned eating right and exercising. You gotta do good work, ask for the review, make some sacrifices to get your first 30 reviews or so, first 15. And just build on top. Because if you don't have that base, you're screwed, man. Your whole thing's going to cave in. Yeah, and that's why I like. I love that it's not easy. That's the whole thing. Like, my mindset helps me a lot, I feel, because I love when the stuff's hard. Like, when I'm having an issue in the moment, it bugs me, but I'm so happy that this business and running a business and stuff isn't easy. Because one, it makes it worth it at the end. You feel you get so much satisfaction, and then two, not everybody can do it. It's like getting 6-pack abs. Not everybody can do it. So when you get it, you're just like, I put in the work. Everyone that has 6-pack abs knows how much work you did. Like other business owners, if they see you at this level, know that you've put in a lot of work. It's not just like, oh, I did this, did this, and it's easy. It's incredibly satisfying, and it's great that it's low barrier to entry. Like, not shitting on or I don't know if I can say that, but on like window washing and stuff like that is good. Like, it's not a terrible business or anything. You make money, but the barrier to entry to that business is nothing. You get a rag and some Windex and you can go start a window wiping business, and you could probably do it and be profitable. But a lot of people can do that. That's why no one will pay a lot for that unless if you get into window washing and you need a crane to get up 20 stories to wash the windows and stuff, now that barrier to entry comes in. Now you start charging way more money because the barrier to entry is so much higher. And I look at that the same way as like plumbing, HVAC, garage doors. All this stuff requires special knowledge, special tools. And some of it's quite dangerous. So I'm happy that it's like that. If it wasn't like that, this wouldn't be happening. So.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me of, it's like a thought I started having in the last year of just, if I was starting a new business, I would maybe go door to door and try to just offer the easy, low barrier to entry stuff, and then do it at no charge for reviews. Right. Just to like build up that review base. And you do it on like the easy, low cost, fast things to do. Once you start to have a base, you can start to move up and start to sell things that are more expensive, right? Because you have the foundation already built.
Right. I love that whole idea with the pamphlet or the flyer that you carry around and show people. And I have a friend of mine who owns a contracting company in Central PA, and he wants to get into garage doors because there's no one up there that does it. So he wants to basically almost like franchise a Bear Door Services up there. So he's sending one of his guys down, one of his workers, to come train with me, and then he's going to send him to certification and things like that. Because he does little stuff, he'll do, some smaller jobs, but he's using that to kind of grab the bigger garage door jobs, or he gets so many bathroom remodels and stuff like that from doing that, as he does the same thing. Now, his is more, he's like super well known in the area. Like, everyone knows who this guy is. So he's kind of like I want to say special case, but he's been doing it for so long that people just call him for stuff because it's just well known. But they don't call him for garage doors. So now he wants to break into that. But it's a similar thing. He does smaller stuff to get bigger stuff, which is very smart. So,
tell us a bit about Levi. So that's your first hire, right?
Yeah. Levi's awesome. One
of the biggest, I think, challenges right now in the trades is like finding good people and keeping them. And you seem to have done a good job at it this time. So why don't you tell us about that and what your strategy and thinking was around it and how it's gone?
So the first thing that I think most people need to realize, that no one's going to care about your business as much as you do. I don't care what business it is. Nobody cares about it. And you shouldn't expect them to. Like people that expect, like bosses that expect their workers to love their job as much as they love it are insane. Like that's just crazy. Like you need to stop that. Two, people come to work for money. That's what they come to work for. Like we have a good culture, and I want to build a strong culture at Bear Door Service. That's one of the biggest things that I want to build. But I'm not naive to the fact that people are going to work for me for money. They have a family, they have cars, they have, like at Christmas time, they don't want a turkey or a Christmas ham. They want money. They want a Christmas bonus that is money. They don't want a pizza party. They want money. So you need to realize that, okay, money equals person, more money equal better person most of the time. And I mean, you got to just face the fact that like $20 an hour is not the same as it was 5-10 years ago. That's like base now. Like you can go to the gas station Sheets down the road. They're paying 17, 18 bucks an hour for a cashier. And you want someone to work for you in a specialized trade for 20 bucks an hour. It's not happening. Not anybody good, I would say, or maybe you'll find a diamond in the rough, but it's probably not going to happen. So you need to reset your mind on how much you're going to have to pay. I want to just hire A players is what I call them. Like, I think Alex calls them A players. Like A player talent costs a lot of money. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, I can't afford to pay that. Well, let's look at why you can't afford to pay that. Doesn't that bring us back around to the beginning? Why can't you afford to pay the good person? Why? Because you're not charging enough. Why are you not charging enough? Probably because your work's not good enough and you're not using good enough equipment. You know what I mean? And you think that you're on this high horse of, well, I do, I'm saving people money. No, you're hurting them in the long run because you're doing inferior things for them. It's like I like the saying, like, buy once, cry once. Like charge them more and do a better job. Like, and then they win because they get a better item, they get a better service, and you make more money, which allows you to hire a better person. It's like this vicious cycle that contractors get caught in. They're like, oh, we got to charge low, but I need a good person to work for me. But this person doesn't want to work for me for $20 an hour. They should be happy they have a job. They should be happy that I'm hiring them. It's like, dude, this isn't like early 2000s. Like, it's not like that. Like, there's jobs everywhere. You know what I mean? There's not a job shortage. There's a labor shortage. So you don't have any leverage. So if you're going to hire somebody, especially someone good, pay them money, like good money. Sorry, phone keeps ringing. A quality salary that they can take their family on vacation with, that they can, pay their bills with. Like, it's insane to me that these guys want to hire these other guys for nothing. It's just nuts.
So how did you find a good person?
So I won't say, I probably want to say got lucky, but I don't know. Luck has like a small amount. I worked with Levi in the oil field for, I think, 6 years. We flew to Colorado and worked together. So I knew him. But here's the things that I look for in people that I take seriously. He has a family, right? And you don't necessarily have to have a family, but you have to have like a guiding principle system in your life. Like, you got, like, you love your dog. Like, people that don't like dogs and stuff, like, just bother me. I would never hire someone who said they hate dogs or something. Like, but you have to have like a compass to, like, do you work hard? Do you take pride in your work? Do you complain a lot? Like, I noticed this about everyone. One of my best friends, we just had a talk. He complains all the time about everything, even if it's nonchalant. It's like his mindset is garbage. And I look for people that just don't complain a lot. Like, complaining sometimes is okay, but like, I look for people who don't complain a lot or smile a lot or look at the bright side of things. That's something that I really look for. If they're struggling with something, or if it starts to rain, they don't go, it's just fucking rain. It's just so stupid. It's just like, oh man, good thing I brought an umbrella. And then they open it up and they just go, like, that's Levi. He, like, he just goes the extra mile in everything. He's an anomaly kind of, because he's so good. Like I can't say enough about this dude. But he has, just as many kids as me. He has 4 kids. He has a bunch of dogs. He has a house. He loves his family. Like, you can tell. I would never hire somebody that like was talking about like cheating on their wife or something. You know what I mean? Like that sort of like shitty behavior, which like we could talk about my past another time, but I've had to grow into this more mature, like usually people that talk about going out and drinking all the time and like cheating on their spouse or doing stuff that's unsavory probably is not going to be a good fit for your business. No matter how much you like them, probably not going to be a good thing. So I look for that kind of stuff, and just like trainability and the ability to want to do something, even if they have no idea what they're doing. If they say, "Hey, will you show me?" or like, "Hey, yeah, just show me," or they wave you off whenever you're trying to help them, that's like a good sign. I call it the wave off. If you go in and try to help somebody, well, like if you showed them and they're starting to do it and they're doing it wrong, if you come in and they start to wave you off like, "No, I got it," that's kind of the person that you want. They are determined to get it right themselves. Like that's like the thing that I look for. If someone immediately drops the tools to go, "Yeah, show me again," and they back up, that's not necessarily like a disqualifier, but that's kind of like an indicator of like, okay, he doesn't have enough grit. Maybe that grit can be built into him later, but that's some of the characteristics I look for.
That's an interesting one. I've never thought of it that way, but like someone that waves you off, like,
yeah,
I'm probably that kind of person. Like when I was learning construction, it was just like I was so determined to figure out how to do it perfect. Most of the time I was making it way too perfect and taking too long.
Right.
But I think that's what made me a good employee, was like,
right.
Oh, I just wanted to get it. I hated when someone had to come tell me that I was making a mistake.
Yeah, the fact that you could get it wrong, but the fact that you wanted to get it right and good is what matters. So that's 100% true.
That's good stuff. So we're coming up on the hour, and I always like to ask people this question. So like you've been in business about a year, not that long, but you've like covered a lot of ground. If you could like send a message to your past self, what would it be?
That's a good question. See, I might answer it differently because I don't know if I would, just because I feel like the going through it is worth it. I feel like the going through it is what you need to be successful. Like if I knew something, I don't know. I just don't think that I would if I could, honestly. Even though it would make it easier, what's the point of making it easier? You're not learning the lessons that you need to learn in order to become good and really internalize the lesson. If you want to make somebody resilient and make somebody smart and make somebody like have confidence and stuff, do you give them an easy life or a hard life? You know what I mean? If you want someone to be smart and wise and tough and resilient at the end, what kind of life would they have? Probably not an easy life. So I probably wouldn't send a message to myself. I would be like, stop being a bitch and do it. Yeah, no, I think there's merit, a ton of merit in going through it. The going through it is what is like, that's part of the, people are like, that's about the journey and stuff. It is. And that sounds really cliche, but easier doesn't mean better, like in almost every instance. So
that's a great answer.
I was hoping it came out right.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for doing this. This was really cool to learn more about you. And I think this was like a super valuable podcast for people to listen to. So thank you.
Hell yeah. No, love you guys. I'm so glad that we linked up, and I'll do this anytime. I love talking to you guys. So appreciate all hard work.
Well, I was thinking this morning, like someday when you're like a famous $100 million garage door business owner guy, you'll probably be doing like tons of podcasts, and this will be the first one.
Oh yeah. And I'm always going to refer back to it. Hell yeah. I'll be when I have $100 million business, I'll be arm wrestling Tommy Mello, the guy who owns A1 Garage Door. I'll be arm wrestling him on a podcast. I'm telling you right now, calling it right now.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, thanks again, and have a great rest of your day.
You too, guys. Thanks.